love. This is a powerful force that transcends the boundaries of mere logical understanding. Love connects human beings, weaving resilient bonds. It gathers us around the same communion of affection and care. It's so strong that it can be felt in the flesh. The body vibrates, burns in a whirlwind of sensations and feelings. No one explains love in its entirety, but science can help us better understand this experience. Earth echoes through this incandescent flame of human emotions. Its brilliance illuminates the universe, reverberating in every passionate heart. What is love? This is one of humanity's most complex and challenging universal inquiries. Many describe love as a deep, highly emotionally connected feeling towards others. Nevertheless, loving is a complex and multifaceted experience, understood and lived in a uniquely individual manner. Love can manifest in various forms in many degrees of intensity. It can be a romantic, familial, friendship bond, or simply remain a fleeting passion. The truth is, throughout life, each person develops their own definition of what love is. Tastes, priorities, goals, family history, all of these directly influence the particular meaning of the sentiment. For science, love isn't an emotion, but rather a physiological response. The perfect chemistry for love involves a significant flow of substances manufactured within the body of someone in love. Sweat, shivers, a racing heart, breathless respiration. How do we explain all these physical sensations in the face of such an intangible feeling? According to neurobiology, romance is a neurological process that occurs in the brain. Studies indicate that up to 12 areas of the brain are directly involved in the romantic process. These sensations are responsible for significantly altering our behavior and the way we perceive the world. Falling in love can be a tumultuous experience, to the point of feeling the famous butterflies in the stomach. This happens because the brain and the intestine are in constant communication. This effervescent dialogue occurs through an intricate network of nerve fibers called the vagus nerve. In romantic and passionate love, there's also the factor of sexual attraction. This is where hormones truly come into play. When we are in love, a series of neurotransmitters such as adrenaline, dopamine, and serotonin are released in the brain. Studies show that when in love, serotonin levels plummet in the body. On the other hand, reward centers in the brain are flooded with dopamine. Serotonin is responsible for controlling emotions and motor skills in humans. Meanwhile, dopamine is popularly known as the pleasure hormone. As serotonin levels drop, the individual tends to become more distracted, with less physical and emotional balance. Meanwhile, a dopamine factory starts to operate in the human body. It is this hormone that stimulates the brain to complete the task of love. The goal is to achieve absolute pleasure. Researcher Jim Faust from the University of Montreal in Canada is one of the most renowned scholars in the field of sexual and romantic relationships. He points out that the insula and the striatum of the brain are immediately activated in both romantic love and passion. Interestingly, the striatal area of the brain is also directly associated with addictions. This underscores the high level of dependence on the sensation of loving. Researchers from the Center for Neuroethics at the University of Oxford in England also share this idea. Both love and drugs release a significant amount of dopamine in the brain. It is precisely this hyperstimulation of dopamine that triggers a vicious cycle of euphoria, desire, dependence, and even withdrawal. To prove this action and reaction of love, scientists examined brain activity in 309 volunteers. During the tests, participants were subjected to the observation of images of their loved ones. Meanwhile, researchers monitored the manifestations of the main activated areas in the brain. The experiment indicated that love and addiction indeed reside under the same roof. Going further, the study also demonstrated that these reactions affect men and women in the same way. The final conclusion is that no one is immune to the madness of love. Those in love are in a state of grace. Everything around seems different. Life gains more color. The universe appears to make more sense. The person in love feels somewhat ethereal, as if walking on clouds. Suddenly, everything reminds them of the beloved person. In a way, we can become a bit distracted, as if nothing else matters. can love make us blind? Scientists from the University of Florida suggest that the passionate brain can overshadow the rest of humanity. The neocortex would be responsible for this strategy, especially in the male brain. Scientists speculate that this maneuver may have developed over thousands of years of evolutionary processes. The goal would be to enforce monogamy, thus increasing the chances of species perpetuation. Another belief that has been put to the test is the idea that opposites attract. Researchers from the Laboratory of Teaching and Research in Neuropsychology in Brazil assert that this idea does not hold up in the long run. After numerous studies, they argue that there is more interest in similar characteristics, beliefs, and values. The Chilean poet Pablo Neruda once said, "Love is like a mirror. It has to have a reflection. In this sense, the beloved object has to directly reflect admiration for ourselves." Irreconcilable differences, on the other hand, prove to be a significant risk factor for conflicts and separations. At this point, romantic disappointments emerge. We become frustrated with the real image of the loved one. It is precisely at this moment that love needs to speak louder. Are we capable of loving beyond flaws? Above all, can we love even the imperfections of others? This is where passion shatters into pieces. Only love is capable of advancing to the next stage. According to Helen Fisher, an American anthropologist from Rutgers University, there are different phases of love. The researcher explains that love begins with desire, then solidifies into a strong attraction before melting into deep affection. In this case, love at first sight would also be a chemical reaction from the initial phase of desire. In this initial stage, the appeal is guided by the secretion of sexual hormones. Estrogen is released in women and testosterone in men. Subsequently, the body releases a significant surge of adrenaline. Adrenaline makes the heart race, the mouth dry, and the hands sweat, indicating nervousness in the situation. The heart rate of someone in love can reach 150 beats per minute. It's no coincidence that we associate the heart with love. These physical reactions in the body are so concrete that they are taken as a true response. If we feel all of this, we must be in love. However, for the body, these overwhelming emotions are neither light nor necessarily happy. The racing heart functions more like a red flag, warning of the danger of the condition. The truth is that if all these stressful chemical changes lasted a long time, the body would collapse. This explains why passion needs an expiration date, lasting at most from 6 months to 2 years, on average. Beyond that, an individual falls into an obsessive process, like an addict who needs help to break free from drugs. Frequent disappointments lead to the disorganization of emotional states, affecting memory as well. In the evolutionary chain of love, passion needs to gradually give way to pacific love. Over time, the body begins to get used to the sensations. The body gains resistance and demands increasingly larger doses to feel the same as in the beginning of the romance. This is where oxytocin comes into play, functioning as a kind of anxiolytic. It stimulates social behavior and relaxation, reducing initial anxiety. Only then can the body feel safe and comfortable with emotions again. There is still no consensus on the scientific factors that lead a relationship to reach the companionate love phase. Studies suggest that factors such as commitment and tolerance are crucial to advancing to the final stage. In this case, happily ever after would be an evolutionary adaptation. More companionship, however, does not mean less love. Over the course, vasopressin continues to be released, generating sexual motivation and the bonding of pairs. The combination of these two substances strengthens dopamine release, eliciting a sense of satisfaction. These are the hormones that ensure a calm and lasting relationship. Naturally, all of this requires a kind of emotional maturity. Self-awareness is an important key to understanding the various phases of love. Accepting that emotions are temporary, we can experience romance without as much frustration and trauma. To love in a healthy way, we must first learn to give and receive love. As we navigate through life, love guides us, reinforcing the preciousness of human experiences. Earth echoes through the richness of human emotions, illuminating the path of self-discovery and growth in community. If you love love, write "I loved" in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this new knowledge. Love will lead you to the next content. See you in the next passion.